Dance is one of the most beautiful art forms on the planet. It provides a deep form of human connection without having to use words. Dancers train for many hours a week to hone in on their craft and do everything they can to make sure they're ready for the moment that they step on stage. Point Park University is one of the best dance schools in the United States. Faculty with resumes that could wrap around the equator pass on intense training to hundreds of students each year. I am lucky enough to be one of those students. But in March 2020, the second semester of my first year at Point Park, the COVID-19 pandemic caused us all to stop our training early. In the months that followed, the dance world struggled to adapt in such rapidly changing times. And although we're still adapting and changing, we found a way to continue our education. School looks quite a bit different now, so I decided to gather a representative from each class at Point Park University and document what these times look and feel like together. Hi, I'm Marie Dunley and I'm a split sophomore-junior.
Hi, my name is Vivian Schock. I am a freshman.
Hi, I'm Megan Littman. I am a sophomore.
My name is Susie Park-Stetner. I'm a junior.
Nia Goodman. I am a senior.
And this is Staying Light on Your Feet, a COVID documentary. I remember the day that we got the email that we were going to be sent home in early March. I was at breakfast with my friends and we all cried because we felt like we had just been making so many realizations in our classes only to be sent home so abruptly.
We all didn't want to go. I remember my whole class were like, can we just finish it? Because we were so close to finishing the semester.
I was in my marketing class, like Introduction to Marketing, and I remember we were about to present, and my group was like all set up to stand up, and we all got the notification, like all the phones and computers kind of like went off at the same time, and that's when we all found out, and everyone was kind of in a state of shock.
So I was supposed to have school on Monday, but then they called us the Sunday before and was like, you're not having school for the next 2 weeks.
I was in the middle of doing spring dance concert and I was cast in Camille A. Brown's piece. And I was very excited because this is the first semester that I actually got cast. So I was just really excited. I did faculty with Yamusa for African. And then I was cast in SEP and I was also cast in spring dance concert. But SEP and spring dance both got canceled.
And Pitt was closed, Carnegie was closed. And when we got the news that that Point Park was going to be shut down, we were all like, ugh, like so frustrated.
I remember that weekend that we got sent home. I don't think I slept at all. My original plan was to stay for a bit longer because I don't live that far away. And they had not officially closed the dorms yet. And I remember not sleeping because I was staying up all night helping all my friends pack all of their things together and helping them move their stuff to their car when their families came to get them.
Yeah, I mean, I stayed probably a little longer than I wanted to because my parents, with like their work and like my mom's a principal, so when she had to deal with like her school shutting down, so I told them, I was like, you wait to come get me for a few weeks. So I mean, I wanted to have time to pack and kind of like get situated anyways. I didn't have too much trouble packing things up. Obviously, it was like very sad saying goodbye to everyone. And again, I think the whole city was in a state of shock. And I just remember the city being pretty abandoned really, really quickly.
Yeah, it was really fast. I had to move out really, really fast and go home. I live in New York and it was completely different than how it was in Pittsburgh. Like it felt like a ghost town. Like people were scarce. Everyone was like wearing masks with like sanitizer and stuff. Like it was intense.
Once I got in the car, I packed my stuff and I got in the car and I was just so sad on the way home. Like, you know, because you realize that you like stuff more when they take it away from you, you know?
Fortunately for the seniors weren't required to do any work during quarantine. So our grades as of March 13th were our grades that we graduated high school with, which was kind of lucky because I got to focus on dance and my training. But in reality, I didn't have any academics until I got back to college. So that was very unfortunate in that sense.
And then when I got home, it was really confusing because when I'm here, I'm on the track team, I'm an RE, I'm a double major, so I'm just really busy. And then I went home and then it was nothing.
Very movie horror scene like.
There were certainly many challenges to dancing alone in your house.
Like when we had to still log on for our ballet class and log on for our hip hop class on Zoom, it was different. They couldn't really see our whole body. It was too many boxes on the screen for her to see everybody. So you really just had to focus on yourself instead of trying to get corrections because you probably weren't going to get much, you know?
Learning how to film yourself dancing, what angles were really unflattering.
A lot of times we had to make full videos for like our hip hop class or like visuals for our hip hop class. So that was a lot of filming that I had to do and going outside and redoing it and yeah. And my phone didn't even have that much storage. I was like, yikes, I don't wonder how this is gonna go. I had to record it. Then in mid recording, it's like not enough storage. I'm like, okay.
For my own mental health, I really enjoyed taking class outside when I could. Also, that way I wouldn't have to worry about my dog, who likes to insert himself into my projects.
You learn how to use your space. That's a good thing that came out of that, I think.
I did fall kind of out of love with dance during that time because it was like strenuous to just log onto the computer screen and like I have to get onto this device, and I was already dealing with an injury before quarantine, so it got worse over quarantine.
It was just a lot of presentations, videos, and papers. It wasn't so much like we were Zooming every day. It was a lot of do all this like work outside and still try to like keep your technique up.
What you do have, you are blessed to just still be able to get on Zoom and still be able to be in class, because some people didn't even have the space that I had, and you got to think about that.
You like picked up?
Yeah, I started just making up a lot of dances. I had like Instagram live dance classes that I started doing, so those are fun, keeping me, creative. I started making a lot of TikToks. I don't know, that was fun too. I was like, okay, TikTok is kind of cool. So at the time, the only thing that was going on was the news and dances. Like dancers were all over my Instagram, dancers were all over TikTok, dancers were still trying to create while everybody else was wondering what to do.
So I was painting a lot. I was writing music. I was writing stories. I was doing anything that I possibly could to keep myself busy, because when I'm static and I'm not creating anything or I'm not doing anything, that's when I start losing who I am and myself.
When I got the email that said we had a choice to come back during this semester, I jumped on and said, yes, please let me come back.
I didn't even really question whether or not I wanted to go remote or be in person. Of course, I wanted to come back here.
But I had to come back mainly because I am an RE, and so they pay for housing. So I'm like, okay, that's something that I had to think about as well, whether to still go through with it or put it on hold until spring, or because they gave us that option as well. But I'm also on the track team, so to keep my track scholarship, I got to come as well and practice. So that was another thing.
One of my favorite things about Point Park is that everyone in the dance program really wants to be there. We work really hard to get into the program, and once we're there, we're all there because we want this and we want to work hard for it. So I knew that for the most part, people were going to be really careful about how they were outside of class. That's basically held true throughout this. I've been really proud of the dance program for kind of keeping it together. Once we got past those first 2 weeks, I was like, okay, maybe we can actually do this.
I mean, I'm just like so impressed with what we've done. I mean, of course, there are, things we worry about, whether the studios are being cleaned and all the normal things to worry about. But no other school has taken, the necessary steps to get us to actually being here, and the fact that we are still here is just insane. There's so many other schools, so I'm like grateful, that going here and that, we took those steps to keep us safe and to keep us healthy and going. So I appreciate the boxes of tape, you know what I mean? I think like especially in the beginning it was nice to be like, oh, okay, we're still kind of separated, but it's also nice that we're able to stay socially distanced while we're going across the floor because I love traveling so much. So I appreciate that. I like when I don't always see it, but I like when I see people coming in and mopping, and I appreciate the professors who took the time to mop as well. I know that's like not their job, but I always appreciate seeing people wipe down the bars. Everyone's always putting hand sanitizer on. Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough to have a large group of friends here at Point Park and a lot of people that I like to hang out with and check up on. I knew that with COVID, friendships were going to look a bit different this year, so I have a very small group of friends that I hang out with regularly, and any other friends that I get to see, we make sure that we keep our masks on the whole time and try to do things that are outside.
I eat dinner with my friends every night. We call it the secret room because no one knew about it until like the almost 8th week of college. We all eat dinner in there. We do sometimes go out. We had like a milkshake factory date. Making friends is pretty easy. You just like, when you go on Instagram and you see what their full face looks like, your brain kind of just makes a face for them. But then, for example, my friend Haley, she looks completely different without a mask than what I pictured her.
But the people I do see, I definitely I put so much more effort than I did last semester to go see someone, because all we're doing is staying inside. So it's me going out and getting coffee with someone, like forcing myself to put in time and effort to maintain relationships.
Yeah, I just try to stay on the phone with people, or like, we do Netflix parties so that we can try to have a movie night or try to do other stuff like that. So it worked a little bit, yeah. But I try, even now, while it's warm outside, I'm like, let me get out there and see people speak, do some homework a little bit, because I know that when it gets cold, it's going to get worse. And people, you already have certain people that might get, seasonal depression or just anxiety being alone, stuff like that. So you want to try to keep communication while you can.
So Choreo Lab 1 was a really interesting process. I got to try something completely new and do tap, which was so cool, and I'm so honored that I got the chance to do it.
I was really excited for Choreo Lab. The rehearsal process was really good. It felt really fast. Like it went so quickly. Creating it was great, even though we had the masks on. I'm so glad that we were able to do something, because we hadn't done anything in so long, and I was like, please let all of us create. Let us show the community that Point Park is still making,
I was talking to my other professor in professional seminar as well, and we were all coming to a conclusion that we feel like Choreo Lab is different, but I think it's a good opportunity just because they allowed everybody to perform. And of course auditions are needed when other people come through, but like at the same time, there are a lot of people who don't get that opportunity to perform all the time, and it's a good learning curve seeing that this is a university. So I do feel like at least once a year they should try to do some type of Choreo Lab so that everybody gets to perform a show. I thought that was awesome.
Filming for dance is completely different than just performing once. Live theater, it's one take, that's it, that's all you get. But filming for dance, it's like constantly redoing it over and over again to find the perfect shot and to find the perfect movement to follow through the lens.
Dancing on film was a totally different experience. Having a camera in your face and not knowing whether to look into the lens or past the lens was all something that we all had to work on and kind of figure out together. In the end, I think the program was really cool, and it was also really cool that everyone was involved, because I think a sense of unity in this time is really important.
I mean, I'm just so impressed. It's pretty cool. The same thing with like dance in general and with this like whole pandemic, I think it forced the arts to take a new approach that I feel like we should have been exploring sooner. In a way, I think it's good and it's opened our eyes a bit to other options other than the stage. But of course, I miss performing like crazy.
I think Choral Lab is just so cool having the fact that we are doing videos. It still feels like a performance to me. Just a little bit, it still gives you a little bit of normalcy, you know?
I think it's really important that the art community finds a way to keep performing in this time, and I think that the collaboration with video and film is so amazing and important, and it's weird to me that it didn't happen before, but I'm happy that it's happening now.
It was just cool just to see your work put into the pieces and the instructor's work as well. So I just can't wait to see this Choreo Lab. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the end piece goes. But my piece is awesome. I'm so happy to be in that. Yeah.
COVID-19 has presented its fair share of challenges to the world. But if there's one thing I know about dancers, it's that we never shy away from a challenge. We know that one day we'll be able to perform on the stage for live audiences again, and we look forward to that day. But for now, we'll stay light on our feet, adapting to whatever the world demands. Because no matter what, we will keep dancing.